Welcome to episode number 6 of the Insights at the Lighthouse. Lighthouse is right here, sitting all the way down here at the natural pier at the end of the world. Just met a pilgrim who came in up there, and from Italy. And this one is going to be about truth. So I thought of it because I hadn't actually just put on the camera and then hadn't even decided what to talk about. It's how do you find your truth? How do you find truth? What is truth? It's a big question these days, isn't it? What can you trust? What can you believe is real? You know, when I decided to get on this walk, I have said many times that I have not felt like I made that decision. I have felt completely pulled to go here. And everything that has happened along the way has told me that that's what actually happened. The timing has been impeccable with the situation in the world, the weather, everything. It was not perfect, but very, very good. So, it's often said that you need to follow your truth. The truth will set you free. All these things. And I think we all have the truth inside of us. Just like we all happy, content, perfect creators, all that good and positive stuff that we have words for, we all are that already. And then you can say, oh, I'm not such a good writer, I'm not such a good at drawing, I'm not a good musician. No, maybe not. But you have all that you need for that to happen. You have all that you need inside. The truth will set us free because that's when we let go of all the layers that are false. Layers of, what's fake. Yeah, false. Things that are not ours. Stuff that we've gotten from society, other people, especially from our young life when we've just naturally taken things from the outside and in. And the struggle has been to figure out what is ours and what is not, where does it come from. And when we let go of those layers of bullshit, or those layers that are not ours, or those things that we've been told, that's when truth comes through us and can have its place in us. And that's when we begin to express ourselves as who we are, which is our truth. When we share who we are honestly, without any limits, without any hesitation, we are living our truth. We are the truth. And that's might not be perfect because we are human beings, but in an ideal sense, when you let go and shed off the layers of your onion as a human, and you sort of understand that all these the layers that are not yours, you'll begin to just come through. Something will come through you more easily. That's why we meditate. That's why we do yoga. That's why we do these things. Because we want to be more ourselves. And another thing is that our society, let's see where this will go, but in our society right now, there is such a big divide between what's false and what's the truth. And what can you really believe anymore? I've been privileged, and I will talk about this probably in another video. I've been privileged with the gift of asking questions. From a very young age, I asked my parents, why am I doing what I'm doing? Or why do I have to do what you're telling me to do? Why do I have to go to church? Why do I have to go to school? Why do I have to go to work? Why do I have to do all these things? Usually, if not always, my parents told me, That's just how it is. And that's not an answer. That is not an answer. It's never been an answer that I could be satisfied with. So I kept asking questions. I never stopped. I ask questions like I'm breathing. Questioning everything is like it's a natural thing to me. It is like drinking water or breathing to me. I'll never stop questioning. And I realized when I was in Switzerland at a school there, which had to do, where part of it was to learn about the Native Americans, which became in a way very, not because that of itself was negative or whatever, but it became sort of a cult-like way of doing it. Maybe not the intention, but I think that's what it became. But there was a quote there, a Native American quote that goes, "If you obey, you're imprisoned. If you question, you're free." Something along those lines, if it's not correct, but it's along those lines. And I really 100% live that way. And that's when I also began to understand why I was questioning things, because I want the truth. I don't want to just, if people tell me that I need to go to school, why? Why do I have to go to school? And when I studied that, because I have watched thousands of hours of documentaries probably, or at least I've studied thousands of hours. I've watched tons of documentaries. I kept asking questions about why do we have money? Why do we go to church? Why do we have educations? Why do we have all these things that are within these 5, 6, 7 main establishments of the world? Why is it dictated that we all need to do this? And it started with religion for me. Why do I have to believe in something that my parents are telling me to believe in, which their parents told them to believe in? Why do I have to believe the same? Intuitively, I knew it was wrong for me. And I found out later on that it was the truth for me too, because the truth was not there. You know, religion, to put it in perspective to me, you know, all religions comes from the same core. It's about love. It's about, you know, being a good human being towards others, other living individuals, humans, animals. You know, it's very simple. That's where all religion comes from. But all the doctrines of religion has been man-made. Yes, man-made. Whenever things are man-made, it becomes maybe too big, or it becomes rule-based. Then you take the truth and you separate the truth that every individual has the right to find for themselves, and you put it into a context, and a written context, where the truth is on pieces of paper in a book. And how can you find the truth there? You can't. It will always be found within yourself when you shed off the layers of falseness and fake bullshit. And when somebody is indoctrinating you to believe certain things, then you have a choice. You can either obey, take it in, accept it for what it is without questioning it, or you can question it like crazy. The interesting thing about that is also, you will find beautiful people within religion. You know, I've met 2 people. There was a priest that came up to me in Santiago who had seen my posts on the Camino Facebook groups, and he greeted me and said, "Hello, Gideon." Very, very nice guy. There was a nun inside the cathedral, very, very nice woman, and you could tell their energy was good. It was so good. There's nothing wrong with religion. It's about how we human behaves within the context of the truth we are living in, what we have inside, and so on. But there's always something beyond. Always something beyond. And the questions, when we ask questions, we can look for answers. If we don't ask any questions, there is no answer to be found. We will be dictated by the answers from others. And yeah, I will go more into that in another video, I think. But I think just that the truth is very individual, but it's also very basic and human. And I think we all connected to the same truth. What we need to understand is that at the core of everything, we all energy. We come from the same stuff. We go back to the same stuff when we die. It's all the same. It's all the same energy. Obviously on different frequencies and whatnot. But at the basis of it, it's proven that we're from the same energy. So you can call that whatever you want. But what is truth? What is it? It's nothing that's graspable. It's nothing absolute because it changes all the time. But we also know when we find the truth or feel the truth of who we are, we feel good. The truth is also what sets you free, and if it sets you free, it's probably not something to be afraid of. It's probably not something to limit, to put a cap on, to judge. So searching for the truth. My dad has a quote back home that he lives by, basically, because he comes from what we all come from in our family. Because in my core family, we're not believing in the same thing as my parents' families, at least not in the same way. I definitely don't. But it says, the quote says, follow the people who search the truth and run from the people who found it. And I think there's a lot to that. It keeps you attentive to not being too absolute in what you're doing. But I have made a distinction too. I think it's hard or maybe impossible to find the truth in the natural world. It's very hard to understand where everything comes from, the universe, how everything has developed. But what I'm fairly sure of now, based on so many hours of research and understanding of how our man-made world is organized, I think you can find the truth or the facts of the truth in our man-made world. I think you can find out when people are lying in government. I think you can find out when people are not telling you the truth in business, in all these things, within religion, all these establishments because there are paper trails, there are trails for money. You can always find it, and I think that is my distinction. I think the distinction is that it's hard. You have to pursuing the truth is something, an ongoing journey in life. But I think that in our man-made world, you can always find the facts, and you can call those the truth or whatever, the reality of what's happening. But I think that is the distinction for me. I will not be able to find the truth of the universe or whatever. I think we feel that when we go with the flow and stuff, we live with it. And but in our man-made world, I think we can find facts, discover truths that can make us that reveals the lies that we have been accustomed to in our society. That's the difference. That's the difference. And I think it's very important to always be assertive or attentive, ask questions. Can this really be true? And if you keep asking questions, I think you will discover that answers will follow. And if you can't just find them, keep asking questions, and you will be led down a journey of amazed interest. And to finish this off, that is the whole idea of why I'm doing what I'm doing, is to always search for the truth. Search for what's best for me, what's best for the world, and keep getting closer and closer to the truth until I need to leave this planet and join it. So I think that's it for now. Hope you got something out of it. Please subscribe for more videos. I'll go back now because I have 30 minutes to walk and it'll begin to rain soon. So thank you for listening, to be with me here at Insights at the Lighthouse at the end of the world, my favorite place in the world. Be well. Ciao.